Hi, I'm Marco from Performance Hypnotherapy. Would it be valuable for you to understand how to develop more feelings of hopefulness and thoughts of helpfulness, which then lead to what is called a positive expectancy regarding your future, which then naturally leads to better psychological and physical health? So what stands in the way? Well, it's the opposite things which stand in the way. These things are called hopelessness, a feeling of hopelessness, and thoughts of helplessness. A feeling of hopelessness is where we don't see any positivity or joy in the future. It's usually preceded by the thought that my life is terrible and there's nothing I can do to change that. A thought of helplessness is a pessimistic style of thought. Usually it's something like, I am terrible and there's nothing I can do to change that in the future. The good news is that these are learned processes, and people study exactly how we learn these processes and how we can also learn to have more hopefulness and helpfulness in our life. One of these people is Dr. Rick Schneider. Dr. Rick Schneider would say that there are three components to developing hopefulness and helpfulness. These are setting a goal, learning the pathways required to get there, and having the agency or the motivation and energy required in order to achieve the goal. Let's take a simple example. If you want to make dinner, you have a goal to perhaps make a meal, hopefully nutritious in nature. You then have the pathways. Do you know how to make the meal? Or do you need to ask a friend and model their way of preparing the meal? Do you need to look it up on Google to learn how to prepare and cook the meal? Do you have the ingredients at home, or must you go to the shops? Can you walk to the shops? Do you need to drive? Do you have the money required to buy the ingredients? There will always be a series of steps to attain any goal. And thirdly, the agency, the motivation. Well, in this case, the motivation for you will be your hunger, and hopefully also the desire to be physically fit and healthy. So that's a short-term goal. What about the longer-term things which really sustain us in life? Things like getting married, having children, having a career that we enjoy. Well, it's the same three-step process, and Dr. Schneider would suggest that you ask yourself some questions. So number one, setting the objective, what do you want your life to look like in the future? How would it feel like for you if you were to achieve that objective? What sort of experiences would you be having if you were to achieve that objective? What sort of things would you be doing if you were to achieve that objective? How would it feel to achieve that objective? Number two, the pathways required. The questions you would ask yourself is, what steps do you need to take in order to get to that objective? What are some of the practical things that you can do in order to get there? Number three, the agency. What's it going to feel like once you get there? How will this benefit you? What will you gain if you move in the direction of this objective? And of course, how do you just commit yourself so that you can take the steps required in order to move in that direction? When we follow this three-step process, we create better hopefulness and helpfulness, better feelings of hopefulness and thoughts of helpfulness. Those positive feelings and positive thoughts, realistically positive ones, which then allow us to develop the positive expectancy about our future, which is required in order for us to feel more psychologically healthy and physically healthy. Thank you for listening. I hope you found value in today's video, and I look forward to seeing you again.